swear you'll stay forever, even if our faces don't stay together.
Agree with me, he's not gonna say different. He'll agree with me, he'll agree with me. That's not, bye-bye, bitch.
Okay, get it. You a little bitch and we finished.
It hits me suddenly that this is the last day we're going to be at the same school. 6 entire years of being in the same place every week.
I'm going down to the railway station, gonna get a ticket to ride. Fine.
I'd give the world to her.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do, haunted by the ghost of you.
You don't hate me. Never hate you.
I let go of my claim on you.
She couldn't be.
There's so much you don't know about me.
Like what, are you like an axe murderer?
Worse,
What?
I'm a gamer.
There it is again, that funny feeling.
You can call me up from words to ways, you know it.
Marceline, is it just you and me in the
Flawless, flawless, yeah. Even though she is in love, I am still heartless, yeah. Hot like mine, all that sunshine, nigga rockin' mine. Yeah, nigga, yeah.
The monster's gone, he's on the run, and your daddy's here.
I just wanna be a part of your family.
I keep going back to that moment in the ICU when she looked at me and I see you. I see you.
All the times I waited for you to want.
No.
It's no use, Joe. Joe, we gotta have it out. No. I gave up everything you didn't like. I'm happy I did. It's fun.
You don't hate me. Never hate you.
And if you weren't such a fucking loser with no self-respect, you'd drop her because she treats you like shit. Well, that.
Tell your baby that I'm your baby. Close my eyes and fall into you. Pinky promise I'll still love your garden, even with no flowers, even with no flowers, darling.
You know what sucks more than anything?
Tell me.
They're my friends.
If you gotta burn it all to the ground, then let it burn.
Birds of a feather, we should stick together. I know I said I'd never. Can't remember how to say your name, let alone count all the freckles on your face. As you see yourself through all the books you read.
feel kind of dumb, but I miss you.
None of it was real.
You know I got nothing on this other
I actually did it myself. Yeah.
Nice.
No.
It's no use, Joe. Joe, we gotta have it out. I gave up everything.
I see you when she looked at me and I see you. I see you.
I got 5 pieces of candy. I got a chocolate bar. I got a quarter. I got a rock.
Trying hard to, but can't even breathe. A little bit of oxygen is all we need. A little bit of mind control is all.
You don't hate me. Never hate you.
I try to make you cry. There's really no way of winning if in their eyes you'll always be a dumb one.
I wish you could know how sorry I am.
Oh, these aren't homemade. They were made in a factory. A bomb factory. They're bombs.
Johnny, why couldn't you be ready too?
Tired of the way he treats me.
September 9th, 2001. Gary and I were skating at a hospital on top of
Interlinked. Do you long for having your heart interlinked? Interlinked. Interlinked. Do you dream of...
Until death did you part from the mess you made. I bet your mother would be proud of you.
But I want it to be you. I wanted it to be you.
I think I miss my wife.
Here's one. I stay awake at night because I don't even know what my favorite color is, and I'm afraid I don't have a real personality. I'm not like you.
If Nana was a guy, she'd be the love of my life.
Call me up for words to ways you know. Try not to.
You don't hate me. Never hate you.
Just like a kid as she's waiting on his day. You held me the whole way through, and I couldn't say the words like it's like you cast a spell on me. This is ridiculous.
You drink, you smell all over me. Lover's spit left on.
Bed sheets, no clothes to lie. Now I know that you love me.
I think it's about time that I warned you I might cry in front of you.
I changed jobs and cities. I hated holidays, babies, history, newspapers.
And the only thing I want.
Even if my heart stops beating, you're the only thing I need.
I have had the worst week of my life. and I needed you.
And anytime you feel the pain, hey, did you?
Say I don't miss you, but I hate them all.
You don't hate me. Never hate you.
What is it? I think I miss my wife.
I don't know if I like it.
What do you mean you don't know if you like
You should have been a rock star.
But he didn't have the money for a guitar.
You should have been a politician.
I don't wanna be the owner of your fantasy. I just wanna be a part of you. And the funny thing is, I would have married you. Wow. But fuck you.
I changed jobs and cities. I hated holidays, babies, history, newspapers, museums, grandmothers, marriage, movies.
Are you into me like I'm into you? Do you wanna do the things I wanna do with you?
The evil had spread like a fever ahead. It was night when you died.
You're a hypocrite. You're a conformist. You're a liar. I opened up to you and you judged me. You're an ass.
And anytime you feel the pain, hey Jude, I wanna hold your hand inside you. You white-eyed girls, you get it right.
I mean with you. What's going on with you?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. I know you. I know you better than anyone. This isn't you.
I don't know.
What are you doing? Living at your grandparents' place? Being in the DAR? No Yale. Why did you drop out of Yale?
Oh, and what did you ever sacrifice?
I gave everything. I gave my whole life.
You died in a hedonistic bender.
I'm not talking about my death. I'm talking about my life. I gave my whole life.
Gravy make a splash like Pippin. Shit, that's nothing. Splash.
There ain't no love like our love. Like our love.
Even if you call it love, I just wanna love someone who calls me baby. And I can't change.
Yeah, with her, but I had a new dog. And I felt guilty about this for months. Because now my best friend's gone. And I can't do anything about it. Anyways, this is how I figured out that Aubrey had passed away. Thank y'all for bearing with me, and yeah.
You are too special. You are too bright of a human being, too bright of a soul.
Aubrey Wyatt was a beautiful 13-year-old girl from Ocean Springs, Mississippi. On September 4th of 2023, Aubrey died by unaliving herself. She was a student at Ocean Springs Middle School and she had just started 8th grade. Aubrey is survived by her mother, her sister, her brother, and her grandfather. Aubrey's mom is Heather Wyatt, a local elementary school teacher, and Heather turned to social media to share Aubrey's story story after her passing and to spread awareness. Heather spoke about the bullying that Aubrey suffered, claiming that she was bullied to death. She was attacked at school and on social media, and since then, her mother, Heather, has been fighting for justice. Heather has publicly spoken about the bullying that Aubrey experienced from 5th grade all the way to 8th grade. While speaking on that, Heather has never publicly named the girls who bullied Aubrey, but since then, the names of the 4 girls have been spread far and wide. There has been a lot of screenshots circling around social media between Aubrey and her mom, text messages of Aubrey begging for Heather to pick her up from school on specific days where the bullying got so bad. Aubrey even texted her mom one day and said that she had been slapped in the face by one of her bullies, following up with sending her mom a picture of a red mark from the slap on her face. Heather consistently followed up with the school, demanding they take action to stop the bullying, constantly talking to the school staff, the board, the principal, doing what she could to make it stop. There have also been screenshots revealed of Aubrey and her assumed bullies. Screenshots of conversations showing her bullies saying things such as, quote, "I do talk crap about you. I'll talk about you all I want. You ain't shit, babe." Screenshots between Aubrey and girls referring to the day that she was slapped, of a girl asking, quote, "Why did you cry? I barely hit you." To which Aubrey responds and says a name that has been scratched out of the screenshot. "Blank, you slapped me hard. You may not have realized it, but you did." Recently, the parents of those 4 girls filed a lawsuit against Aubrey's mom, Heather, on acting with malice and defamation. Defamation is defined as any false information that harms the reputation of a person, business, or an organization. Allegedly, and I'm going to read this is all information that I just found on the internet, and everything said in this video is just my opinion and my opinion alone. Allegedly, the complaint against Heather reads, quote, "As a direct and proximate cause of the false, defamatory, and slanderous social media post of the defendant, Heather Wyatt, the plaintiff's minor children have been receiving insulting and revolting messages from around the world, attacking them, calling them vulgar names, them. These young ladies were in the 8th grade," end quote. After that lawsuit, a judge ordered Heather to take down her social media. However, as of Tuesday, July 16th, the parents dropped the lawsuit, but the parents can still file in the future should they choose to do so. It is honestly unknown where we will go from here. Everything about this case is horrible in every aspect, and there are 3 main points that I want to make. If I am going to be talking about this case, I feel the extreme need to say what I'm going to say while bringing attention to this case. Number 1 being that at the center of this whole situation is bullying. When Aubrey's mom, Heather, came to social media in the first place, her intentions were not only to spread awareness and fight for justice for Aubrey, but also to spread awareness about bullying and to stop that. By spreading bullying onto those other girls and threatening them and their families, they're only going against what the Wyatt family is asking for. All we can do as people on the outside looking into the situation is spread love, respect, and support for the family. There is a right and a wrong way to go about that, and we can extend all the love and the support to the Wyatt family without spreading any more hate. Secondly, I think that the power of social media is great. I think it's amazing joining together and locking arms with the Wyatt family to make sure that they don't feel alone in this, but we have to remember that this is their life. Heather, Aubrey's siblings, and friends have lost a person that they loved so much and adored, and that loss stays with them forever. They don't get to turn off their phones and forget everything on social media that's being said about them, about Aubrey, or about their family. That sticks with them forever. The grief isn't only temporary for them. This loss that they're experiencing is a horrible feeling to them, a new feeling that they have to learn to adjust to. There is no book that tells you how to deal with a situation like this, no directions on how to accept the death of a daughter, loss of a sister, of a friend. They are learning how to grieve, and it's not something that they can get over. This does not end for them. They are learning how to cope, and when we write and post about this, we have to keep that in mind. Lastly, and please listen to me when I say this, if you are someone that has found yourself to be in a similar headspace that Aubrey was in, please remember there are people in this world that love you. Remember that you sticking around is worth it, and I know there are so many times where the world can seem so big and so scary. It can seem so dark, but I promise you that where there is dark, there is also light. I beg any of you who are doubting it to please stick around long enough to see the light again. You are loved, you are cared for, you matter, and you are important. The Wyatt family has created a GoFundMe for Aubrey. I'm going to try and link it in the comments if I'm able to. If you find yourself in a position to be able to donate, please do so. If you can't donate, sharing love and respect and keeping Aubrey's memory alive is amazing as well. Okay. I love you all so, so much from the bottom of my heart. Please remember to be kind, smile to strangers, hug all the people that you love, and remind them of that every single day. You're never gonna regret telling someone that you love them. Say it loud, say it proud, say it more times than you think you need to. Check on your loved ones and remember that you are so loved too. Love you guys so much. Hope you are having the best day. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you. He was in prison before he committed the murders. He was in prison for a long time and he asked for help so many times. At one point, he told staff that he wanted to eat the hearts of women, men, and children, and they still released him. Nico Jenkins grew up in Nebraska. He was one of 6 kids to his mom and dad. His 5 siblings were sisters. His childhood was rough, to say the least. Since he was a baby, all he knew was anger, arguments, violence. He was surrounded by hatred, abuse, both verbal and physical. He grew up looking at criminal behaviors from family members, and that's all he knew as a little kid. That's all he was surrounded by. That to him was normal. When Nico was 7 years old, he went into foster care, and from that young age, he communicated the thoughts that he was having in his head. All of those thoughts, almost every single one of them, were violent. Nico would say that he had voices, he heard voices in his head telling him to harm himself and others. At age 8, he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. At age 11, he started carrying around a weapon on him 24/7. That was when he first got on police officers' radar. He started getting in trouble with the law for all kinds of things. By age 17, he had been sentenced to 14 to 15 years in prison for being involved in an armed carjacking. While in prison, his behavior was not good. He was still hearing voices in his mind telling him to kill everyone, basically. And he would tell the staff about this. This was no secret. He would talk about what he was hearing, the voices he was hearing, to the staff and his cellmates. He told a staff that he wanted to eat the hearts of women, men, and children. And Nico only ends up serving 10 years. He was released in July of 2013. So he spent 10 years in prison. More than half of his time in prison, over 50%, was spent in solitary confinement. At one point, he was in solitary confinement for 2 years straight. Not in and out. He was there for 2 years straight, and right after that is when he was released. Shocking, right? And Nico himself asked them not to be released. He told them that if he was to get released, he was going to kill someone. Nico Jenkins specifically, before being released, said that he did not want to be discharged because if he did, he would kill, cannibalize, and drink blood. He said that the Egyptian god would instruct him to do this. He asked for help, he asked for treatment, nobody listened to him, and he was just released. Nico gets released from prison, his family throws him a party, and one of his uncles gives him a weapon for his present from being released from prison. August 11th, Nico has a plan to commit a robbery. His plan is that his sister Erica and his cousin Christine are gonna go to a bar. They're gonna find 2 men and lure them to a secret location where Nico would meet them and then rob them. That is what happens. Erica and Christine go to a bar. They run into 2 men. Juan Peña is 26 years old and Jorge Ruiz is 29. The 2 women lure the 2 men to a different location. When they get there, Nico Jenkins jumps out and both men in the head. In less than 1 second, Jorge and Juan had lost their lives. Nico, his sister, and his cousin obviously flee the scene. Cops do end up finding the 2 dead bodies of Juan and Jorge, but they do not connect the murders to Nico Jenkins yet. August 19th, 2013, only 8 days later, Nico is at a party. He runs into a guy that he met in prison. It's 22-year-old Curtis Bradford. Nico's talking to Curtis at this party and he says, "Hey, I want to rob someone." And Curtis says, "Okay, great, I will come with you." Nico's sister Erica also decides to join in. All 3 of them are in a car driving to go find someone to rob. Once they get to wherever they were going, they get out of the car. Erica takes and shoots Curtis in the head, immediately killing him. Nico is absolutely furious at Erica because he wanted to be the one that killed Curtis. He was pissed that Erica took the and did that. Nico ends up taking his and Curtis in the back of the head again. Both of them then drive away, leaving Curtis dead on the side of the road. Cops do get called. They find Curtis's body, pronounce him as dead. But no arrest is made. Nico does not get questioned for this at all. I don't even know if they were suspicious of him at this point. 2 days after that, August 21st, 2013, Nico decides that he again wants to rob someone, and he's planning to do this outside of a Lil Wayne concert. Besides, it would be a good idea to confront the people when they were walking out of the concert and ambush them and rob them. So Nico gathers up his little team, his sister Erica, his cousin Christine, and this time they invite his uncle Warren, which is the same uncle that had gifted him the weapon at his prison release party. They decide that before they do this, they need to go find a car and rob the car because they don't want to be robbing people in their own car because then they could get caught. So they make their way over to a McDonald's hoping to find a car that they can steal. This is when they see 33-year-old Andrea Kruger driving her car through the McDonald's drive-thru. Nico Jenkins waits for Andrea to stop driving her car. He then runs up to her, pulls her out of the car, and her in the neck, face, and shoulder multiple times, killing her, and then dumps her body just on the side of the road and drives away in her car. Him and his uncle got inside of Andrea's car and drove that car away, and the cousin and the sister are driving in one of their cars behind them. Just a little bit over a week after that, on August 30th, 2013, Nico Jenkins gets arrested on unrelated charges. Nico had a girlfriend. Yes, and he had been threatening to kill her and her mom. She reported that to the police, and that's why they came to come look for him and arrest him. While they have Nico under custody, officers are sort of connecting the dots, trying to pile together evidence to figure out if Nico could be the one responsible for these 4 murders. On September 3rd, Nico is interviewed for 8 hours. He's talking almost for the entire 8 hours straight, and he officially confesses to killing those 4 people. He tells police that the murders were acts of sacrifice to Apophis, I don't know how you say that, an ancient Egyptian serpent god. The 8-hour interview is kind of all over the place. You can tell his mental state of mind is not good. But he did confess, so he is charged with 4 counts of murder and he's now awaiting trial. Now get this, while awaiting trial, Nico Jenkins files a lawsuit against the state of Nebraska for $24.5 million for wrongfully releasing him from prison. Nico says he should not be held responsible for the killing because he shouldn't have been let out of prison in the first place. He says that he told the staff that if he was released from prison, he was going to go out there and kill people. He did what he said and what he warned them that he was going to do, so therefore it's not his fault. In his trial, he decides to represent himself, and he says this again. He says that what he did, the murders, were sacrifices, and he did do them, but they were not his fault. April 16th, 2014, Nico Jenkins is found guilty on all 4 murders. During this time, I believe between being found guilty and sentencing, Nico Jenkins was using that time to carve things into his face with a sharp weapon. He attempted to carve 666 on his face, as well as the word Satan. He cut his tongue and had to get a lot of stitches. He wanted to look like a snake, like the god that he looked up to. He also did more aggressive, violent things to himself that I probably can't talk about because TikTok will flag me, so look them up, but just very In May 2017, Nico Jenkins was sentenced to 4 death penalties, as well as an additional 450 years on weapon charges connected with the murders. I'm pretty sure he is still alive awaiting the death penalty. Also, his mom, his sister, his cousin, and his uncle all received prison sentences as well for their involvement in the murders. So crazy, insane. I have no words for this one. Let me know what you guys think. I love you all so much. Massive kiss on the forehead to every single one of you. Do I dare talk about Alex Murdaugh? I think I'm going to. Who is Alex Murdaugh and what did he do? What did he not do, actually, might be the better question here. Alex Murdaugh was a 50-year-old attorney from South Carolina. He was married to his wife, Maggie, and had 2 sons, Buster and Paul. Alex was, at one point, a very well-respected, successful, high-profile attorney. His family owns a law firm that's over 100 years old. It goes back 3 different generations. That being said, his family has a very long history of being a prominent, well-known family in the Hampton County. An extremely wealthy family with a lot of power, a lot of secrets that all started to unravel when Maggie and Paul were killed back in June of 2021. The walls came crushing down for Alex. All of his secrets were exposed. Everything that had been brushed underneath the carpet started to come out. All of the deaths that tie in with the Murdaugh family are just as important as each other. However, to make this all fit into one video, I do have to skip through a ton of details, so I'm going to try my best. The first death happened July 8th, 2015. This was Stephen Smith. Stephen was a 19-year-old boy that was found dead in the middle of the road with some sort of blunt force trauma to his head. head. Stephen was gay, and his mom believes very strongly that someone killed him as a hate crime. During the investigation, there were rumors that Buster, Alex's son, was involved in this somehow. Also rumors that he was possibly in a relationship with Stephen. His death was eventually ruled as a hit and run, and a lot of people believe that because of the amount of tips and information that was coming in about Buster, he should have been questioned, but he really wasn't. People think this is because his family had the power and the wealth to just cover it up. February 2018, there was a death of 57-year-old Gloria Satterfield. Gloria was the Murdoch's family housekeeper. She had been working with them for over 20 years, and she died at their house. Gloria tripped and fell down the stairs. Maggie and Paul were home. They called 911. They said, "My housekeeper has fallen. Her head is bleeding and I cannot get her up." Alex Murdoch was supposedly at work 25 minutes away, but he was able to somehow get there before the police did. He claimed that Gloria told him that she tripped over the dogs, although when Maggie called 911, she said that Gloria was unresponsive and unable to talk. Gloria later died in the hospital, leaving her 2 sons behind. Alex Murdoch promised that he would take care of them financially because he had the means to do so. He wanted to make sure they were okay. Alex recommended to Gloria's son that they hire Corey Fleming, which was one of Alex's best friends, but the sons didn't know that. He told them to hire Corey as their lawyer and told them to file a wrongful death suit so that Alex's insurance could pay them out. Alex also suggested to Gloria's sons that they hire Chad as their financial representative. That was also one of Alex's best friends, but the sons were not aware of that either. Alex was basically making himself look like this guy who was a good guy, offering to help them put their ducks in a row to get X amount of money that his insurance would pay out, but that never happened. The settlement of that case was that the boys would get around $500,000, but Chad never told them that. Instead, him and Alex and Corey did some sneaky stuff, and Alex Murdoch ended up getting over $3 million. They filed nothing in court, no records of it, so Gloria's sons were not aware of that until later on in the story when this starts to come out in the news and they realize that they never got the money they were supposed to. February 2019,